The moon hung heavy in the sky, bathing Evergreena in an ethereal silver glow. This land pulsed with ancient magic, whispers of forgotten spells dancing on the wind. The very air felt alive, humming with possibility. In Evergreena, anything was possible. But this magic was a double-edged sword, holding the power to both heal and harm. Deep within Evergreena's heart lay the Whisperwood, a place of ancient trees and hidden glades. Here, fireflies winked like mischievous stars, and somewhere in its shadowy depths, a young man named Finn walked alone. Finn knew every inch of the Whisperwood, the rustling language of the leaves, and the secrets whispered by the babbling brook. The forest held no fear for him. It was his sanctuary, his playground, his home. Finn was a child of the forest, raised by the whispers of the wind and the songs of the birds. He had hair the color of sun-kissed wheat and eyes as blue as the summer sky. He spent his days exploring the hidden paths of the Whisperwood, befriending woodland creatures and talking to the trees. But Finn carried a sadness within him, a longing for companionship, for a love that would set his soul ablaze. Little did he know, destiny had a plan. A chance encounter on the eve of the summer solstice would change his life forever. The air thrummed with anticipation on the eve of the summer solstice, a night when magic crackled in Evergreena. The forest floor pulsed with a soft, ethereal glow, and the trees, draped in garlands of fireflies, seemed to sway to a silent melody. Finn could feel the magic tingling in his fingertips, whispering promises of adventure. He walked with a newfound purpose, drawn towards the heart of the Whisperwood. He reached the ancient oak tree at the edge of the Whispering Glade, a place of potent magic where the veil between worlds was thin. Tonight, the air around the oak tree buzzed with palpable energy. Finn touched the rough bark, feeling the ancient magic thrumming beneath his fingertips. As the first stars appeared, a haunting melody drifted through the trees, filled with both joy and sorrow. It tugged at Finn's heartstrings, urging him deeper into the Whispering Glade. He moved cautiously, his senses on high alert, the melody growing stronger with each step. He gasped as he saw a young woman bathed in moonlight, dancing in the center of the glade. Her dress, woven from moonlight and shadow, flowed around her like liquid silver. She moved with an ethereal grace, her bare feet barely touching the ground. Her voice, clear as a mountain stream, filled the night air with a lament of love and loss. Finn was captivated, frozen in place, afraid to break the spell. The wind rustled the leaves and Finn felt a familiar presence beside him. It was the spirit of the old oak, a wisp of smoke and starlight that often whispered secrets to him. "Beware, Finn," the spirit warned. "This is no ordinary maiden." Finn tore his gaze away from the dancing figure, looking at the spirit in confusion. "Who is she?" he whispered back. "She is a creature of both light and darkness, bound to this glade, her heart filled with a grief that cannot be healed." "Be careful, young one. Her sorrow is a powerful thing." Finn shivered, sensing the raw, untamed power that emanated from the dancing figure, but also felt an overwhelming urge to help her. He took a step toward the clearing, drawn by an invisible thread of sympathy. The music swelled, wrapping around him like a physical embrace. The woman paused in her dance, her eyes the color of melted chocolate meeting his. In that instant the world around them faded away. He didn't know her name, but he knew he had to help her. "Hello," he said softly, his voice a bit shaky. Her eyes held him captive, reflecting the moonlight and something more, something ancient and unknowable. The woman tilted her head, studying Finn with those fathomless eyes. "You dare approach me, mortal?" Her voice, though laced with sorrow, held a musical quality that sent shivers down Finn's spine. "I meant no disrespect," Finn replied, his voice firm despite his nervousness. "I heard your song and wanted to see who possessed such a voice." "You have a kind heart, mortal," she said, her gaze softening slightly. But this glade is no place for the living. It is a place of sorrow, of memories best left undisturbed. Sometimes sorrow is easier to bear when it's shared, Finn said, taking a step closer. My name is Finn. May I have the honor of knowing yours? Finally she spoke, her voice barely a whisper. They call me Luna. Finn took another step forward, closing the distance between them. He gently took Luna's hand in his. Her skin was cool to the touch, like polished marble. It's nice to meet you, Luna, Finn said warmly. Perhaps you'd be willing to share your burden with me. Luna's eyes widened slightly, a flicker of hope in their depths. You would do that for a stranger? She asked, her voice filled with disbelief. Everyone deserves someone to share their burdens with, Finn replied simply. Very well, Finn, she said, her voice regaining some of its former strength. I will tell you my tale, but be warned, once heard, it cannot be unheard. A shiver ran down Finn's spine at her words. What had he gotten himself into? What had he promised this creature of moonlight and shadow? What is the bargain? Finn asked, his voice barely a whisper. I am bound to this place, cursed to wander this glade for eternity, unable to find peace, Luna said. To break this curse I need the touch of true love, a love that transcends the boundaries of life and death. There is a place deep within this forest, Luna continued, a place of ancient magic called the Whispering Well. Legend has it that its waters hold the power to grant the deepest desires of the heart. Bring me the water of the Whispering Well, Finn, and perhaps it will hold the key to breaking the curse that binds me to this place. Finn looked into Luna's eyes, his heart torn between his desire to help her and the overwhelming sense of dread. I will find it, he said, his voice firm despite his fear. I will find the Whispering Well and bring you its waters. Dawn painted the sky with hues of rose and gold as Finn left the glimmering glade. He carried Luna's request like a precious, fragile treasure tucked close to his heart. The forest, usually a symphony of life and light, seemed to hold its breath as he passed. Finn walked with the sure-footedness of a seasoned woodsman, his senses alert to every sound. He carried his trusty bow and a quiver of arrows, but knew that physical weapons would be of little use against the magical forces he was likely to encounter. He whispered to the trees as he passed, seeking their guidance and protection. The deeper Finn ventured into the Whisperwood, the more oppressive the atmosphere became. He reached the edge of a clearing, the air suddenly still and silent. In the center stood a towering oak, its branches reaching towards the heavens. As Finn approached, the ground beneath his feet began to tremble, the leaves of the oak rustled, though there was no wind, and a voice, ancient and powerful, boomed through the clearing. Who dares disturb the slumber of ages? A figure began to emerge from the trunk of the oak, its form coalescing from the shadows and light. I seek only passage to the Whispering Well, Finn said, bowing low. The guardian of the oak studied Finn with an unwavering gaze, its emerald eyes seeming to pierce his very soul. The well is not a place for mortals, it said at last, its voice echoing with the wisdom of ages. Its waters hold the power to grant the deepest desires of the heart, but they also come at a price. Are you willing to pay that price, mortal? I am, Finn said, his voice firm despite the tremor that ran through him. He knew the guardian was testing him, probing his heart, his resolve. I seek the well's magic to help another, to break a curse and ease a heart filled with sorrow. The guardian nodded slowly, its expression softening slightly. Very well, it said, its voice still echoing with power. But the path to the well is not easily traversed. It lies hidden behind a veil of dreams, a place where reality and illusion intertwine. Only those with pure hearts and unwavering wills can find their way through. As the guardian spoke, the air shimmered and rippled, and a swirling vortex of mist and light opened up behind it. Finn could see glimpses of fantastical landscapes beyond the portal, scenes of breathtaking beauty and terrifying grandeur. He knew this was the realm of dreams, a place where his deepest fears and desires would be laid bare. Go now, mortal, the guardian said, its voice softer now, tinged with a hint of sadness. and may the spirits of the forest guide your steps." Finn took a deep breath, steeling himself for the challenge ahead. He offered a silent prayer to the spirits of the forest, then stepped into the swirling portal, the veil of dreams closing behind him. The realm of dreams was a kaleidoscope of shifting landscapes and ever-changing emotions. One moment, Finn found himself walking through fields of wildflowers, the air alive with the sound of birdsong and laughter. The next, he was stumbling through a desolate wasteland, the wind howling like a banshee, the ground littered with the bones of forgotten dreams. He encountered creatures of myth and legend, some benevolent, others malevolent, their forms shifting and changing like smoke on the wind. He faced his deepest fears, confronting the shadows within himself, emerging stronger and more determined with each challenge overcome. Through it all, the memory of Luna, her sorrowful eyes and the weight of her unspoken plea, served as his guiding star. He clung to the image of her, the echo of her voice, using it to anchor himself to his purpose, to prevent himself from becoming lost in the labyrinthine corridors of the dream realm. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he emerged from the veil of dreams, blinking in the light of the setting sun. He stood before a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow, a sense of profound peace and tranquility emanating from its very heart. In the center of the clearing, nestled amongst ancient trees with roots that reached deep into the earth, lay a pool of water so clear it seemed to reflect the sky above. As Finn approached the pool, he could hear a soft whisper, a melody carried on the wind. He recognized the melody, Luna's tune from the glimmering glade. The well was a link between their worlds. Kneeling, he cupped the water, feeling a surge of energy. Gazing into the pool, he saw Luna trapped, her voice pleading, "Please, Finn, bring me the water and set me free." Finn knew this journey was about more than a promise. It was about courage, sacrifice, and a love that transcended worlds. It was about opening his heart to a love that could heal even the deepest wounds. The journey back to the glimmering glade felt shorter, as if the forest itself conspired to reunite him with Luna. The oppressive atmosphere had lifted, replaced by a sense of anticipation, a humming energy that vibrated through the trees. It was as if the whisperwood held its breath, awaiting the breaking of a centuries-old spell. Finn moved with a newfound urgency, his steps lighter, his heart pounding with a mixture of hope and trepidation. He clutched the vial containing the Whispering Well's water, its cool surface a reassurance against his palm. The moonlight, filtering through the canopy, seemed to guide his way, illuminating the path ahead. He emerged into the familiar clearing, his heart skipping a beat as he saw Luna standing in the center. She seemed more ethereal than ever, her form almost translucent in the moonlight. Her eyes, however, held a spark of hope, a flicker of anticipation that mirrored his own. "You returned," she breathed, her voice barely a whisper. Her gaze fell upon the vial in his hand, and a slow smile spread across her lips, a smile that illuminated her face like the first rays of dawn. Finn stood before Luna, the vial of water separating them, a tangible symbol of the choice he had to make. He could feel the weight of her gaze upon him, the intensity of her hope, the depth of her longing. He knew that the water held the power to break her curse, but he also sensed that it came at a price he wasn't sure he was ready to pay. "Luna," he began, his voice husky with emotion. He looked into her eyes, those pools of moonlight and shadow, and saw reflected there his own conflicting emotions. His desire to help her, his fear of the unknown, and a love that had blossomed in the space of a single night, a love that defied all reason, all logic. "The well revealed many things to me," he continued, choosing his words carefully. "It showed me the depth of your sorrow, the pain of your isolation. But it also showed me your strength, your resilience, your unwavering spirit." He stepped closer, closing the distance between them until their hands brushed. He could feel the coolness of her skin beneath his, a stark contrast to the warmth that surged through him at their touch. "The well also showed me the truth of my own heart, Luna. It showed me that He hesitated, his throat tightening with emotion. Luna reached out, her hand gently cupping his cheek. Her touch sent a shiver down his spine, a jolt of pure, unadulterated magic that seemed to resonate deep within his soul. "The choice is yours, Finn," she whispered, her voice filled with understanding. "The well may hold the power to break my curse, but true freedom lies in choosing your own destiny." He looked into her eyes, and in that instant he knew what he had to do. He lifted the vial, the water within shimmering in the moonlight, and offered it to her. "Drink," he said, his voice filled with a love that knew no bounds, no limitations. "Choose freedom, Luna, choose life." Luna hesitated, her gaze flickering between the vial and Finn's face. Then, with a slowness that seemed to defy time itself, she brought the vial to her lips and drank deeply. The effect was instantaneous. A wave of energy erupted from her, a blinding flash of light that illuminated the entire glade. Finn shielded his eyes, feeling the force of the magic wash over him. When he dared to look again, he saw Luna standing before him, bathed in the soft glow of the rising sun. The first rays of dawn painted the glimmering glade in hues of rose and gold, heralding a new day, a new beginning. Gone was the ethereal, translucent quality of Luna's form. She stood before Finn, vibrant and alive, her eyes sparkling with a joy she had not known for centuries. The curse was broken. But as Finn looked at Luna, truly looked at her, he saw that the transformation went beyond the physical. The sorrow that had once clouded her features had lifted, replaced by a serenity, a quiet joy that emanated from her very being. And in that moment, standing on the cusp of a new day, Finn knew that the Whispering Well had not just broken Luna's curse, it had revealed a deeper truth, a truth that transcended the boundaries of worlds, the limitations of magic. It had shown him that love, true love, had the power to heal even the deepest wounds, to set free even the most captive heart. He had given Luna the gift of freedom, but in doing so, he had received a gift far greater in return. He had found his purpose, his reason for being. He had found love. And as the sun climbed higher in the sky, painting the Whisperwood in hues of emerald and gold, Finn and Luna walked hand in hand, their laughter echoing through the trees, two souls bound by destiny, united by a love as ancient and enduring as the forest itself. The Whisperwood, once shrouded in melancholy, now thrummed with vibrant energy. The trees, ancient and wise, swayed in celebration, their leaves rustling like whispered applause. The air, sweet with honeysuckle and pine, carried a melody of hope. The magic of Evergreena flowed freely, a testament to love's triumph. Finn walked hand in hand with Luna, their laughter echoed through the ancient trees. He found his purpose in Luna's eyes, in her smile. Love blossomed, healing even the deepest wounds. Luna embraced life with childlike wonder. Her laughter brought joy to Evergreena. Sorrow transformed into empathy, boundless love. She found in Finn a kindred spirit. Together they became guardians of Whisperwood. They roamed hand in hand, their laughter mingling with the wind. Years turned into decades, decades into centuries. The tale of Finn and Luna, the woodsman and the Lady of the Moon became woven into the very fabric of Evergreena. It was whispered on the wind, sung by the rivers, etched into the bark of ancient trees. Their love story became a legend, a reminder that even in a world often filled with darkness, a spark of hope, a glimmer of magic, could ignite a love that would shine for eternity. And so, dear listener, as you gaze upon the moonlit sky, remember the tale of Finn and Luna. Remember that love knows no boundaries, no limitations. It can blossom in the heart of a forest, in the depths of despair, in the face of impossible odds. For love, like magic, is eternal. It is the one force that can never be extinguished, the one truth that can never be denied. May their story remind you to embrace the magic in your own life, to cherish the love that surrounds you, and to never, ever, stop believing in the power of a happy ending. For in the end, it is love, pure and true, that will light our way, that will guide us home.